All right, we're live, Leslie. Hi, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Chantel Taltioli, and I am here today to talk with my client, Leslie, who has like some pretty big awakening messages for everyone. I'm going to call it awakening messages, yeah. And so I was just talking with Leslie about the purpose of this live. The purpose of this live is really threefold. One, I want to celebrate her. I really want to celebrate you, Leslie, and really acknowledging and witnessing where you were a year ago when we began working together and where you are today. So I titled this live From Feeling Insignificant, from feeling, what was the other emotion? I wrote it, I have one that's on here, and reject.
Rejected.
Yeah, you know it, right? Feeling peaceful and empowered was your word in one session, which is pretty remarkable. It's pretty remarkable, but it's also completely doable. And it's for others to be able to experience for themselves as well. So that's the second part, right? One, really witnessing you and acknowledging you and celebrating you in that, and letting others know that this is possible for them as well. They have to be willing, they have to be ready, right? They have to be like willing to meet me halfway. And so, like, by you sharing your story and by you being willing to, like, do this live with me, even and share this with me, with the world, you're helping others to also awaken into who they are, into their own empowerment. So that's really the purpose of this live, and to talk about my teachings that will begin 1 week from today. Ooh, it will actually begin literally 1 week from right now. So it's noon MST. We start on 1/11/222, January 11th at noon MST. And so I'm going to give a little bit more details about the teachings that I'm going to do, but it really leads into like the tools that you utilized in what I teach and the way that I mentor in order for you to have the awareness that you have for yourself right now. Okay. So let's just, like, if you're okay with that, let's talk about that. One of the things we talked about in our last session was that in order to know where we're going, we really need to know where we are. And we really need to acknowledge what we're doing right now in the here and now. And the analogy that I use with you is like, imagine as if you're standing in New Mexico and you really want to get to California, but you keep traveling east, right? Never going to get there. So you kind of need to know where you are just a little bit to know the direction that you want to go. And so let's talk about like when you first decided to do mentorship with me. What, like, let's maybe talk about that. Like, what was your maybe your biggest frustration when you first signed up?
My biggest frustration with the mentoring was confidence. And knowing that I wanted to elevate my game with my job and climb a little bit more ladders and be confident in that as I do it. And that was the main reason. And then as we continue on, there's other reasons and more peeling back the onion layers and realizing other things that I want to focus on. So, but the main objective was confidence in my career.
Yeah, I love that because I think that like that is one of the number one things with people that do sessions with me also, right? Is they want to feel the confidence in their own, in their body, in their conviction into who they know that they are, so that no matter when they come in contact with other people, that they can stand their own ground, that they can be who they are, no matter whom they are in presence with, even those that might seem to have authority over you as well. So I
Correct.
love, like, thanks for sharing that because like that's really who we're speaking to, right? Is the people, men and women both, who are wanting to seek more confidence in themselves, whether it's in their career or again in their body, whatever it might be. Um, so, and then I love that you said, like, because confidence did come up in our last session. I was like just looking down at our notes there too. It was like, I want to build more confidence. So that implies that you have the confidence. You're just building even more. And the word that came up was like the more empowered feeling also, right? So let's talk about like before doing the mentorship with me, before doing any of the other teachings that I do. And specifically, you did Mastering the Brain Game and you do the Rise Tribe, which works so synergistically together to understand at a really fundamental level who you are, who each individual person is, and then how you interact with the people that are closest to you in your life, how you interact with the world, which then translates into the creation energy, into what I actually want to do, be, and have in the world. Right? So let's talk about, like, before you started doing sessions with me, what did you try before that?
Meditation.
Okay.
And reading books, self-help books.
Oh, good old self-help books, right? Yeah. What do you feel like? I mean, I feel like for me, self-help books are really great whipped cream on the top. But in order to really have true transformation, it's my opinion, and this is what I've seen from, like, not only myself, where I work with other mentors myself, but I have, like, the clients that I have all tried this also, right? They've tried to force themselves into meditation. And by force, I mean, like, sitting in there and then be like, well, can I fast forward the clock a little bit, right? Which defeats the purpose of meditation. And the self-help books also, which, like, I don't know, why do you feel like it didn't work for you?
Because I never finished one.
Yeah.
Lost my interest. And wasn't practical for me.
Yeah. We give ourselves this false sense that we're doing it, right? When we sign up for whatever it might be, or we download a new Audible self-help book, or we buy an actual physical book. And so we give ourselves this false sense of, I'm doing it, I'm trying to improve myself, this is the one that's going to actually work. When, like you just said, whether we finish it or not, really my specialty is being able to not only code your DNA, so your physical DNA, the reason why, my hair is really dark and your hair is really blonde, the reason why my skin's darker color than yours and yours is lighter skin, like the reason why we have our physical DNA, so too we also have our spiritual DNA. So we have this, and together that forms a code. And that code is you. It is your purpose. It is your divine reason as to why you are a human being on earth at this time. And when you unlock that, you start to understand exactly not only where you are, but why you want to get to where you want to be. Right. And so quite often when I start working with people, they don't even know what they want to do. And that's okay, because we've been so focused on the past. We've been so riddled in the anxiety of what could be, of what we don't want, that we forget, like, kind of even our direction as to where we want to go. Right. And so I wanted to just touch into this a little bit, because, to think back a year ago, now it's almost kind of challenging maybe for you to, like, think about, like, where that was, because you've come so far, right? And knowing who you are and feeling so good. Yeah. I don't know. Why did you choose me?
Well, I started in Pilates, and I'm not much of a meditation person, but as I continued on, I believe I did the 4 sessions for a month.
Okay.
And then I went to 8. And then I became an unlimited member, locked in price. Because as I went to Pilates, I did meditate and I felt very peaceful. I mean, it also helped with flexibility,
Yep.
but I also gravitated towards your positive thinking, and you always exhibited peacefulness to me. And so when you opened up the Rise Tribe, I was totally interested, because I craved that. The peacefulness, and not the chaotic life and emotions that I was feeling from work and home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's so true, right? Like, who we surround ourselves with really is starts to imprint on us. And I know you are a self-proclaimed empath, and you say this loud and proud. And then it's really about understanding that as an empath, how do I use this ability that I have for my greatest good? And then when I understand that the other people that are attracted to me into my life, and that I gravitate towards, we come into resonance with each other in the most beautiful kind of harmony, where I'm no longer like, and you'll notice that you're at the same job, you're in the same relationships, right? But they feel different. nothing changed other than the way that you built your own confidence in yourself, the way that you became so empowered in yourself. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, career and everything else had this 180, right? Instead of being blamed, you're actually being given gifts because you're doing so well. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks
And
for
I had that feeling that I should be doing more.
mm,
The lab that I was in, I kept yearning for a higher position, didn't have the confidence to apply. And so as we went through Rise Tribe or mentorship, and I'm still learning with Master the Brain Game, but I have, I'm now in the position that I've always wanted to be in. And slowly but surely, I have the confidence as I continue on.
yeah, absolutely. And just like understanding that also, right? So remember that's the reason why you started with me, but then understanding really it's not like this like foo-foo kind of, well, something better is waiting for me, but like really embodying that. And when you understand that, then literally the next door open for you, that felt so much more natural for you, right? Versus like vying for the what was, what could have been, right? And the yeah, yeah, and the shooting on yourself, right? I did a post. I don't know if you saw it a couple of days ago, where I said, "Be careful not to shoot on yourself." Well, you know it, you'll be knee deep in should, right? Like that kind of stuff. Where like every time I say it or I hear it said, it's like, but is this being said in the like the positive kind of way? Does it feel good, or does this feel like I'm just going through the motions in order to get whatever it is I believe that I'm trying to get to? And do I even believe that that's what I actually want? Or is this what my boss wants? Is this what my
Mhm.
parents want? Is this what my partner wants? Whatever it might be. Yeah. So let's talk about the results, right? Like it gets me giddy to like think about it. So when you think about going from just wanting confidence, I just want to be in your energy. And thank you for mentioning Pilates as well, because I think that it's so important to move that energy physically. And so we need both, right? It's about the heart and the mind coming in coherence with each other, and then really honoring the vehicle that we have for our soul, our bodies, and be able to physically move that. And so I feel like it's full circle for everyone. Those that are doing Pilates, also when you add in the mindset work, when you add in the soul work, you just become this synergy of who it is that you really want to become in the world. And you lose that, just what you said, I should be doing more, right? That not enoughness that shows up in so many people, that just dissipates also. So let's talk about like, I don't know, your funnest results, however you want to frame that. What are you most
The,
excited
the most excited results regarding work or
about? Anything,
just,
life. Yep.
I think the most powerful result
Mm,
that I have, um, noticed with Master the Brain Game, everything is how people look in fight or flight, how people respond in fight or flight versus rest repose. And, just given a couple weeks ago with an incident where I was in a fight or flight mode and I was making absolutely no sense. And how this has taught me that I need to allow 15 minutes in that emotion and then be done with it. And I'm more aware
mm.
just of people that are emitting the fight or flight and
Yeah.
how I do not want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. So recognizing that you're in New Mexico, right? For my analogy at
Right.
the beginning. Yeah. Recognizing that I am there. And I think that you are so spot on with this. So many people are living in an emotion that has become so normal to them that they don't even notice that they're like perpetuating the anger or the sadness or that whatever it might be coming up for them. And that instead of doing something that is very human and allowing yourself to feel that emotion, just by allowing it to happen in 15 minutes, this is biological, the hormones in your body that was flooded at first that gets released because you move into like the brainstem part that gets triggered of when you call it fight flight, For, like, I think most people understand that fight, flight, freeze response. But to understand that, like, allow yourself to feel it. Just recognize that you're there without trying to bypass it, without trying to numb it, to drug it, to numb it down. Like, that's what we were talking about earlier. But just let yourself be there. Let yourself feel that. Let yourself be human. Because when we try to bypass it through the Netflix, the drugs, the alcohol, the food, the overwork, the over exercise, whatever it might be, what you're really doing is making yourself become less human. You're literally denying yourself the emotion that you agreed to come to in this human suit. Yeah. So being aware of it, I get so passionate about it because, like, that's when you're aware of it, you can move through the entire cycle in order to really transmute on the other side of that, which you did in understanding that I've now gone from feeling like insignificant. What does my opinion matter? What am I going to make a difference, into feeling very, very empowered for yourself. Yeah. Like, that gives me butterflies also, just to think about, like, other people that might be hearing this right now and wondering, like, should I do it? I've kind of been on the fence, so to speak, about it. So let's talk about them. Like, if someone's watching right now, right, and they're kind of on the fence, because I know, like you said, as soon as I announced Rise Tribe, you're like, I'm in. Where do I sign up? Right? You're one of the founding members also. So if someone's watching and they've been kind of watching my posts and they're kind of like interested, maybe this is the first time they've ever even like seen me or heard of me, but they know they want more for their life. And they know that, come the third week in January, that the nutrition plan, the gym membership, right, the self-help books probably isn't going to pan out. So I would like to have just a little bit extra assistance here. I don't know. What would you say to them?
It's a community. That's the one thing I like about it. One of the many reasons is you have a whole community. It is the Rise Tribe. It is Master the Brain Game community. We talk about issues that we come across, and somebody has a different perspective on it. And there's always encouragement, never, the opposite. But it totally was worth the money. And I was shocked, when I first started. And then money doesn't seem to matter after that. You spend your money on other things that are probably less important than changing your whole outlook on life.
Yeah.
And being awakened, awakening to how you present yourself, how you feel, how raising your positive vibration in the world, and seeing others gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
Just in the last 6 months, I've noticed work colleagues and, other people that I encounter just seem to gravitate a little bit more to the energy that I'm emitting.
Yeah, absolutely. You are the change, right? So, like, I think that so many people that are gravitated to what I teach, and by teach, what I mean is I have a very strategic system, right? I meet you where you're at, and we move through a strategy together. This isn't like, we're not kind of just like winging it, so to speak, or it's not like the therapist's office where we just talk about it. There are very specific strategies that we follow that are proven. And, like, regardless of whether they have been or not, what matters most is how you feel about it, right? How you feel about yourself. And so, yeah, I love that you tapped into that, because it's literally, Rise. Everyone can see at the bottom of the screen there, I spell Rise with a Z, because Rise is the last 4 letters of Surprise in A Beautiful Surprise, my business name. And when we raise our own vibration by becoming more of who we really are, and what does that really mean also, right? Like, integrity. When you are in integral within yourself, when no one else is watching, and you feel like you are in the integrity within yourself, that's what I mean. You start to raise your own vibration when you feel safe, when you feel productive, when you feel like, I got this. You become in alignment. You become more awakened into yourself, and you have a literal vibration that you emit And by doing that, you admit it out into the universe, right? Into the quantum field, into what science can measure up just 27 feet beyond where your physical body is. And then others get to pick up on that. And so it's not this metaphorical kind of thing. It's like quite literal. When you raise your own vibration, you help others to do the exact same thing. So I love that that was your first kind of feeling into this, is it's like the community, right? We need others. We came to a world with other people. We're meant to be in community with each other. And especially what's happened in the world in the past 2 years, being able to come into community with each other all around the world through the beauty of like Zoom and all the other ways that we can, and really feel as if we are seen, as if we are heard, as if my opinion matters and it won't be judged. Yeah. It was something, I don't know if you heard it. It was in a couple of sessions ago. You might not have been at that session, where someone said, "I really enjoy that you present the information and then you completely leave it there, and it's ours to pick up, it's ours to choose." And it's not like it's this way or no way, or it's all like, there's so many different modalities that I teach within the strategies. But then within that also is, I'm a coach, right? I can help you to kind of span back and see the tree as you're standing in the forest.
In some sessions, I don't even know how I feel.
Right?
But after, a couple minutes in, then I recognize it, and you help me get through it. So I totally agree.
Yeah. What do you think is possible for you now?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Like we said, 2022, my word for that is reborn.
Yeah.
Reborn to many possibilities.
Yeah.
And leveling up. So.
You are leveling up for sure. Yeah. I love that. With the Lesli of a year ago, if I had asked that to you, right? What would her answer have been a year ago? If I said, "What's possible for you, Lesli?"
I don't even think she would have answered.
Yeah. I can feel that shift in you, like the physical change that happens because we become so much more of really remembering who we are, right? And sometimes I feel like it's impossible to really put into words the transformation that can happen. So maybe people can just feel into your energy right now and just even understand that, right? Like that just feels like such a cruising and a coasting, and I'm moving at such warp light speed that I don't even feel the speed, because I'm going in the direction that I really want to go, that I desire to go. Yeah. All right. You are incredible. Thank you so much for doing this live. Is there anything else you want to add in before we sign off? I know, put you on the spot.
Just if you are on the fence, jump over it and start. This is a new year, and you will be pleasantly surprised and not I can't think of the word, but not disappointed.
I love that, like, I don't know if you've noticed this whole life that you've had a really hard time even finding negative words. Like, that's where you're so focused. You're like, I don't know, whatever is the opposite of like good.
Right.
Yeah. All right. You're incredible. I'm going to say it again. Thank you so much. I know that, if I can just share really quick, Lesli, that like doing this live wasn't the easiest thing for you, right? For a lot of people, it's not. A lot of people, I have so many clients that have incredible transformations and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do a live though." That's okay, right? I'll meet you where you're at. And so the fact that you're willing to do this and like lead the way and like talk about this out loud, you're helping so many other people. But what's the most important? You're helping you're solidifying it for yourself, right? Yes, absolutely. And this is like your proclamation to the world. You're staking your flag, right? You're widening your stance. You're shrugging your shoulders. Yeah. All right. It gets me giddy when I see like the progress and the transformation and seeing you for you and seeing your eyes light up. So that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
All right. So for anyone who is watching, I can see there's a few people here live right now. Maybe this is a sign for you. I will drop the link in the comments of my personal Facebook page. You can click the link to join us. And it really is, like I feel like life changing, life up leveling kind of stuff is a term that can be thrown around, but it truly is, right? It just is, and it's one of those things that like I had this thought the other day. I'm really a leader in the way that I teach because I began teaching Pilates 19 years ago, before it was a household name that it is now. What I'm doing right now in the Rise Tribe, in Mastering the Brain Game, is going to be a household name in less than 19 years. So the people that really gravitate towards me are the people that want to be at the leading edge of that, of the like, yeah, science will prove it. Science has proven like 100% of everything that I teach. Beyond that, it will catch up, right? So we're that leading edge of, we understand just a little bit more than what the masses understand, and we're the leaders of. Like, let me propel myself that way so that I can be the leaders for others to awaken to. I could talk about it forever. All right. Again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and stay right there, and I'll end the live. And I'll come in the back end and talk to you a little bit more. Okay. All right, everyone. I will drop the link so you can click and join us. We start on 111. The time commitments, 1 hour per week. 1 hour per week to change your life. What? Yeah, because I teach you how to time collapse, and I teach you quantum physics. You don't need to know anything other than that, and you just show up. All right.